of my favorite speakers in the Knights of Columbus men, and so I want to give him a half hour for his talk before we have our lunch break. So give a warm welcome to Cicero.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Deacon. Good morning, all of you. Before I start, I just want to explain a little bit about, because you guys are going to say, oh, who's this guy with this weird accent, right? So let me just explain that to you. So my family is from Italy, and during the war, my grandparents moved to Brazil. So I was born in Brazil, and I was speaking Portuguese in school and Italian at home. Then my family really likes to make things hard, right? So they moved to a Japanese neighborhood. So now all my friends are speaking Japanese, right? And mixed with Portuguese, and at home Italian was crazy. So one day I was in school, and my worst subject was English. And my teacher came to me and said, Cicero, you need to learn more English. You need to be better in it. I said, why? I already speak 3 languages. Not good, but I speak 3, right? So why I need English? And she said, well, maybe one day you go to America, we never know. I said, me, never. That's not gonna happen. I'm happy here. And that's when I learned that every time you make plans, God's gonna laugh at you because He got plans for you, right? So I was born and raised Catholic, very active in the church. Since I was a little kid, I started walking, like going to the church, right? And my grandma, which we call nonna in Italian, right? She had a stick that's they call go to mass stick, right? If you don't go to mass, nonna was after you with that stick. So I went to church, and the priest said, Cicero, I need a volunteer. I'm looking for somebody to volunteer for something, and I always had my hands up. Every time I hear the name volunteer, I had my hands up. I'm ready, right? And the priest said, yeah, there's a bishop in the U.S. He's looking for somebody to go there for 6 months to help him with a project. And I said, well, it's not for me. I don't speak the language. I don't wish to go there. And he said, no, I gave your name already. You're going 6 months. You have 6 months to learn English. So I was studying like crazy. After 6 months I came. I went there to meet the bishop, to work with him. And how many of you here are members of the Knights of Columbus? A good number, right? So our supreme chaplain, today he's the Archbishop of Baltimore in Maryland, Archbishop William Lowry. So at the time he was the bishop, and I came, and he's the one I came to work for him, right? So I came to spend 6 months with him. I arrived here, I went there, and I met him. Nice to meet you. I said in English, very proud, nice to meet you, right? He said, welcome to America, now I speak Spanish. I said, oh my gosh, now one more language, right? So I had to learn Spanish and start working with immigrant communities that came from Central America, Mexico, to Connecticut, to New England. So I worked there. My 6 months turned into 25 years, right? So I stayed there working for 25 years with the church. Never joined the Knights of Columbus. 25 years. I was really busy with the Hispanics and all that and helping the communities, and never joined the Knights. And imagine being born and growing up in Brazil, then living 25 years in Connecticut in the cold, right? I said, this is not for me, I need a different mission, right? So I had the opportunity to move and start working with the church too, but in Hawaii. So amazing, right? So I moved to Hawaii, I joined the Knights to start working there, became Grand Knight, Faithful Navigator, District Deputy, all those different titles on the Knights of Columbus. I lived in Hawaii for 10 years. Then my boss at the Knights of Columbus said, Cicero, I need a volunteer. And I had my hand up again, right? He said, yes, there's a position. We want you to be in charge of the life insurance of the Knights of Columbus for 4 states, Hawaii, Alaska, Washington, Oregon, but you need to move to Oregon. I said, okay, going to cold weather again, right? So not that cold, right? But I got my bags and my family. We chose a place in a map, and boom, we came here, moved here. That was 2 years ago. I really enjoy working with the Knights. The best thing I love about it is a Catholic organization entirely, right? Many people don't even know that the Knights of Columbus is an insurance company. We started to protect Catholic widows and orphans. So Father McGivney was a young priest in New Haven, and he lost his dad when he was very young. He was in a seminary. He had to quit the seminary and to go back to work the same place where his father passed away to provide for his mom and his siblings. He had 12 siblings. There were 13 kids in the family. So he was there working to help his mom and his siblings to buy food and everything. Then he went back to the seminary and finished, became a priest. When he was at this parish here, this is St. Mary's Church in New Haven, Connecticut. He was there closing the church after Mass and all that, and he heard this noise. Somebody knocking the door. He opened the door, was a widow. And she said, Father, my husband passed away. I have 3 kids at home. I don't know how I'm going to feed them. I need some help. So Father Mike, very good priest, he understood the problems when the breadwinner of the family dies. He passed the basket in the church, did a second collection, got some money and helped the lady. Following Sunday, again, another widow. She asking, Father, my husband passed away. I need some help. And he did again another second collection, helped the widow. On third Sunday, now I think the widows start talking to each other, and everybody came to the church, right? And asking, oh, there's a priest there giving money to widows. Let's help. Let's go ahead. So he said, no, we cannot keep doing second collection and helping all the widows, the orphans. We need to find a solution. What if we start like a prayer group, a group of men that comes to the church once a month, once a week, we pray together, but we have a little box there. They put money in, and when one of the members of that group dies, the money will help that family. So without thinking, he started the insurance company, right? And as you know, insurance company can be very profitable. So that little box that's there start growing, right? And more people joining and all that. Today we have over 2 million members of Knights of Columbus. And little box that everybody got together to pray and put some money in a box. Today, that box is 123 billion dollars. So we're one of the largest insurance companies in the world. We're the largest Catholic insurance company in the world. And all the products that we have is only for Catholic families. If somebody comes to me and say, oh, I like to buy insurance, I like to protect my family, I like to buy long-term care, disability or something, first thing I ask, are you Catholic? Because our products are designed only for Catholic families. Now, I was talking about profits, right? Insurance companies can be very profitable. Our company, the Knights of Columbus, is a tax-free organization. We are a non-profit organization. So we don't pay taxes. But all profit we make, we give away to charity. We have one part of our funds that's really interesting. They call church loan program. Every time there's a church that needs a renovation, or a school, a Catholic school, Catholic seminary, Catholic hospital, Catholic universities, we have this program to lend money to that church or to that organization, a very low interest rate, right? And over the years, we did $500 million in business with that. So it's really amazing what we're doing. We have ultrasound machines that we donate, wheelchairs, coats for kids. There's many, many programs that we do with all the profits that come from this insurance side of the Knights of Columbus, right? And we still have more money available. So what we did, we started giving free insurance for all the members. So anybody that joins the Knights of Columbus receive a free accidental life insurance for him, for the wife, and for their kids. The Knights of Columbus is very proud to be connected with all the Catholic universities. So if you become a member of the Knights and you want to go to a Catholic university, like my daughter right now, she is at the University of Portland. Anybody who's a member of the Knights, him, the wife, and the kids can go to a Catholic university, and the Knights will help them to pay the tuition, right? We have orphan benefits. If somebody dies, the Knights of Columbus will help to pay a monthly fee for your kids until they become 18-year-old. So there's many benefits like that we're using all the profits from this company to give away to Catholic families, right? But interesting, when I went to my first sales training, right? So if you're working for a company about sales, you go to a sales training, you got there, what do you expect? They're gonna talk about how to sell, how the products work and all that. When I got there for my first sales training, they said, okay, first we have confession, then we have adoration, we have the mass, and after that we're gonna talk about finances and sales and everything else. Because the root of the Knights of Columbus is in the Catholic faith. So over the years, since I became an agent working for the Knights, and now I'm responsible for 24 agents in all 4 states, meeting Catholic families. When I was a field agent, I used to visit 1,000 families per year, right? So when I go sit down with them in their homes and review their finances and all that, it's really sad that people don't realize that sometimes, without thinking, they put their money with things that goes against our faith. And that was a big part of our job. Like, for example, if you want to buy a car, like let's pick a car. You want to buy a BMW. So you go there to the dealership, and there's a BMW to sell for $60,000. Then you look, there's another dealership across the street, same exactly car, for $10,000 less, $50,000. Of course, you want to go to the cheaper place. But then you do some research, you find out that dealership supports abortion or support anything else against the Catholic faith. Would you go there to buy and save some money just to have that discount and support something bad? And sadly, most Catholic families do that. Many, many times we visit families and we see people invest in their retirements with companies that support abortion. I remember one day, I'm not going to say names, by law I cannot mention name, but I visited a priest. And because I used to work in the Diocese of Bridgeport in Connecticut many years with priests, right? So I said, Father, retirement for the priest is really important because you work until you're 75. After that, you're on your own. You just have your Social Security. How are you going to pay for your medications, your everything else, right? So it's important to save some money. And the priest said, oh, don't worry, I have some money invested. The money is growing. I'm really happy with my investments. It's growing 16% every year. I said, wow, 16 is kind of high. Can we review that just to make sure it's invested in something good? And his investment was with a pharmaceutical company. I just Googled the name of the pharmaceutical company, and that pharmaceutical company makes the medicine, they make the pills to kill elderly, like for euthanasia. So without knowing, the priest was investing his retirement with a company that produces a medication to kill people. And that happens a lot. There's a lot of companies out there. There's, for example, abortion. There's a machine that they use to crush the baby and take pieces of the baby piece by piece out. And those companies that make those machines are very profitable because the government give money to them, right? Planned Parenthood and all that. So sometimes it's a pharmaceutical company. Let's invest in this. The stocks go up. We make a lot of money. But without knowing, you're supporting those things, right? So with the Knights of Columbus, we have investments that are aligned with our faith. So we always check it with the USCCB to get approval before we make any investments. So all the investment with the Knights are 100% aligned with our faith, always approved by the Catholic Church. So that's very important. Another interesting part is many Catholics don't, it's important for us I'm going to share a little story here about my grandfather, right? When I was a little kid, he was planting a tree and he called me to help him to plant that tree. And I said, "Oh, Grandpa, that's very nice, a very nice tree." And he said, "Yeah, this tree going to take 40 years to grow and to have a nice shade here." And I said, "But Grandpa, you're already 70. 4 years from now, maybe you're not going to be here." He said, "Yeah, but I'm planting this for you, not for me." And we need to do more of that. So that's something, sometimes they call our generation now, they call microwave generation. We want things quick. We want things done right away, right? But we need to prepare for the future. We need to do things for the future generations. Like when I have a degree in computer science, so I love numbers. So when I was in the church one day and I saw the basket passing, I was like helping with the usher there, passing the basket. I saw a lot of people putting $5. And back in my mind, I did the calculation very quickly. If you go to Mass every Sunday, put a $5 in the basket, how long going to take you to give $10,000 to the church? 40 years, right? If you buy one small life insurance and leave to the church, when you die, the church is going to receive that money, much more than that. So there's many ways we can do to help our church, to make sure our churches are here when we're no longer here. One day I said to the priest, I love those old cathedrals, very nice, like the Proto Cathedral I was there a couple weeks ago, Proto Cathedral in Vancouver, Washington, right? And I said, well, maybe I was born in the wrong time, because during the time when they built those cathedrals, people, Catholics, after work, they went there to help to build things, right? They had the time to go there with their families and move bricks, the stones, and all those things and build those cathedrals. We don't do that anymore, right? So the priests, when I mentioned that to a priest friend of mine, he said, yeah, but we can do other things. That's why you're born here. And this time, you can help people to do other things to do that. And my mind came about life insurance that we can use, because that's what I was learning, right? So I said, you know what? I want to leave a Catholic church. I want to build a Catholic church and give to the diocese. That was the dream of my life. And I said, but how am I going to do that? So I bought one life insurance on my life. And I said, when I die, my family is going to receive $1 million to at least start building a Catholic church. And then during the pandemic, my father passed away. And I inherited a piece of land. And I got this new job, started making a little bit more money. So what I'm trying to say is, once you have a goal in mind, you have something good you want to leave behind, God gonna bless you and help you to achieve those things. So I received the land as an inheritance from my father back in Brazil, and I'm building the church right now over there, little by little. Those old cathedrals, sometimes they took 150 years to build, right? But I'm building something that my kids can continue in the future. And that's something that all of us, we can do. Sometimes when I'm talking to parishioners, with members of the Knights, I ask, if you die today, what's your plan for tomorrow? Most people say, oh, nothing, you're going to be dead, right? My plan is just to go meet Jesus, nothing else, right? Yeah, but you could be helping seminarians after you die if you live on life insurance to give money to the seminarians. Or you can renovate your parish. There's so many things we can do. There's a program with the fourth degree of the Knights of Columbus, they call the Chalice Program, where all the members of the fourth degree, they chip in, and when one person dies, the church receives a chalice with the name of their brother that died engraved in the chalice. And one day I was at the church and was a little boy in front of me. He couldn't stay still. He was moving all the time and jumping during the whole mass, and that was bothering me. But I said, no. I remember when I was a kid, I was like that too, so I need to stay still. And so after the whole mass, he was jumping and moving around and all that. During the consecration, when the priest raised the chalice, he stopped and he was looking at. He didn't move. So I said, wow, that's incredible. A little boy doing that, right? Then after Mass, I said, I need to talk to this little boy. I need to learn what he saw during the consecration. So after Mass, I asked, oh, what happened? I remember when the priest raised the chalice, you stop and you're looking. What did you see, right? And he said, oh, I saw my grandpa, because his name is engraved in that chalice. So look what we can leave behind to our families, to the future generations. We can be, the Knights of Columbus, we always learn a lot about action. When you become a member of the Knights, the first thing you receive is a rosary. And they ask, you have to keep the rosary, you carry the rosary with you all the times and pray as long as you can, as much as you can. So since I became a Knight, I had the rosary with me. This is my number 5 already, because they don't last that long, right, when you carry them and all that. It's amazing how much my life changed. Every time I had to make a decision, you put your hand, you feel the rosary. Every time you have the rosary with you, you're more careful about what you decide to do, how things you're going to do in your life, right? One more thing that I like to share about being Catholic. My whole life I was against abortion, all that, but I was not understanding very well the whole concept of abortion, right? And I remember the Knights, they promote this March for Life in many states, but the bigger one is in Washington, D.C. So I went to Washington, D.C. to participate in the March for Life. When I was there, they had over 1 million people marching there and praying and all that. So I was very active in the social media. I was taking pictures of everybody and posting that. And believe it or not, I motivate other people to come and participate in the future March for Lives through my posts. And the following year, I was expecting to go to, but for some reason I couldn't make it. Then a priest friend of mine that was there called me during the March for Life and said, Cicero, are you here in the March for Life? I said, no, Father, I couldn't make it this year. I am not there. I said, no, because there's a deacon here. He saw your posts last year, and he came for the March of Life, and he likes to meet you. He likes to introduce you to his kids. And I said, yeah, but sorry, I'm not there. I was in Hawaii at the time. So I said, but I can talk to him on the phone. He said, yeah, he likes to talk to you. So gave the phone to this deacon. I started talking to the deacon, and the deacon said, yeah, I'm here for the March for Life. I'm very much against abortion, all that. And I like to share a little bit about my story. I have my kids here with me, right? I said, oh, very nice. How many kids you have? He said, I have 42 kids. I said, well, wait a minute, I don't understand. You have 42 kids? Yes, I have 42 kids. And all of them are abortion survivors. I said, what do you mean abortion survivors? Yeah, when they do the abortion, sometimes they pull the leg, they pull the arm, then when they pull the body is alive. And because it's premature, most of the time becomes blind. No legs, no arm, blind, but it's still alive. And I go and I adopt those kids. And he had 42 kids. Then he passed the phone to the kids, and I spoke with, he had 4 of them with him. I spoke with the kids. Now they're 20, 30 years old, sings in a choir at the church, in a wheelchair. And the first one that I spoke with, I didn't talk. I was just listening, right? The first one was on the phone with me. He said, please, everywhere you go, I need a favor. When you talk to men, please ask everybody to pray for my mother. She was under a lot of pressure. She didn't know what to do. She made a mistake. But thank God that I survived. I'm here today to give an example. So please ask everybody to pray for her. I already forgave her, but please pray for her, right? So pass to the next one. The next one said, let me share my story. 2 guys were fishing on the side of the river, and they saw a garbage bag floating in the river, and the garbage bag started moving, and they thought it was like a dog or a cat inside. So they pulled the garbage bag out. When they opened, it was me inside the garbage bag. And the third one, he said, they found me in a trash can in the bathroom of the bar. And I'm here serving the Lord. So when I heard all that, I said, I don't believe this. This is amazing. So I start acting more and more to help with fight against abortion. Not just protesting, not just praying, but with action, because that's what Knights of Columbus teaches a lot. Prayer is really important, your faith, your everything, but your actions are important because you're a role model. You're teaching other people to follow you. So we start an ultrasound machine. And in Hawaii, we delivered 3 ultrasound machines in free clinics. So all the ladies can come, they couldn't do the ultrasound. And it's amazing when they do the ultrasound and print the picture of the baby, give to the mother. That's not a fetus anymore. When they see the picture, they say, this is a baby, right? So it makes a huge difference. So in one of the areas where we donated the ultrasound machine, the priest decided to do a mass and invite all the mothers that were thinking about abortion. When they did the ultrasound and they saw the baby, they said, no, I'm going to keep my baby. So the priest invited all the mothers to come to mass in one day, do a special mass and bring the babies. And they did that mass and they had 40 babies inside of the church and the altar. 40 babies that were saved by one machine that we donated. And we already donate over 1,000 machines. And most of that money that comes for all that comes from the insurance that we have with the Knights of Columbus. So every time I sit with family and talk about insurance, it's important to have insurance, it's important to have disability, long-term care, retirement plan. But the main thing with the Knights, you're not just helping your family, you're helping a lot of other people too. I was in American Samoa. I've been to over 40 countries doing many different things with the Knights and the church. But I was in American Samoa, and we brought inside of the church 800 wheelchairs. And the bishop came and blessed them. Then we delivered to the house. So it was really amazing when we took a little girl that was laying down on the floor for 12 years. She was 12 years old. I have a picture with her. But she never had a wheelchair. She was laying down on the floor for 12 years, and we put her in a wheelchair. First thing she said, thank you, Lord, now I can go to church. So it's amazing the gift of mobility that we can give to people, right? So just sharing a little bit about that, about the power of the Knights. Like, for example, when the Pope Francis went to Iraq, where we had during the war with ISIS, all churches were destroyed and all that, and the Knights rebuilt some Catholic churches. The Pope came, by helicopter, and he saw that beautiful church that we renovated with a statue of Our Lady on top of the church in Iraq. And he was so amazed by that after the Mass, he took the vestment and gave to the Knights as a gift, thanking for everything we did. We rebuilt over 100 churches in Iraq and Syria, Catholic churches that were destroyed. And all that with the profits of the Knights of Columbus insurance, right? So the main message here is that you have organizations that have financial insurance protection for you and your family, 100% aligned with your church, and 100% of the profits goes to help the Catholic faith, right? If you're not a member of the Knights yet, sometimes I say that we have men, we have the Knights, and we have saints. It's really amazing when I meet brother Knights who are members of the Knights for 60, 70. I met one in Hawaii, he was member of the Knights for 80 years. He's 98 right now, he's a Eucharist minister. So he's very active in the church for 80 years, being a role model for everybody, teaching everybody, right? So please, if you're not a member yet, we have information table back there to come and learn more about the Knights and what we do, not just here locally, but around the world. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. God bless.
Okay. Thank you, Cicero. That was awesome. All right, so this is where lunch is on your own. We're going to, on the TV here, there is going to be a assortment of ideas where you can go. Like I said, there's about 10 or 15 places within a 4 or 5 block radius that you can walk to or quickly drive to. Jason's putting some of those up right now. So, to respect everyone's time, especially our speakers, please be back at the next talk. Don't be late. We got 1:15. That's 13:15. 1:15. Be back here for Devon Schott. So there's a list of a lot of places.